Hello YouTube, Hiker Daniel here. You guys know that there's two things that I love. Graphically heavy series running on Nintendo platforms and finishing up projects. Needless to say, the cancelled port of Crysis 3 for the Wii U makes me very angry, as it did neither of those things. Alright, let's back up a bit. Today I want to talk about a very obscure part of Nintendo history, Crysis 3 for the Wii U, which at one point was in the works. Now, as most of you know, Crysis is a series of games that has always been known for its great graphics that are tuned up for the most modern PCs. At the time of their release, the three Crysis games all made very high-end PCs struggle to run it on ultra settings, and it's been a point of pride for many when their new gaming rigs could run the newest Crysis game on ultra settings. Hell, if I'm to believe the Digital Foundry reviews in their videos on Crysis 3, then even high-end 2021 PC rigs struggled to run Crysis 3 in 4K at a steady FPS. That's the original release from 2013, so a game from 2013. So considering all that, what kind of business did this beast of a game have on consoles? Well, Crysis games have always had console ports for the Xbox 360 and PS3. These ports were often suboptimal, many corners were being cut to make the graphical beasts of the Crysis series run on the hardware, even going so far as to cut levels where need be. Needless to say, these games on consoles were far inferior to their PC counterparts, with FPS, especially in Crysis 2 on consoles, dropping below 15 frames per second in busy scenes. And all that with the game running on a graphical profile running below the lowest PC settings. But it's logical that Crysis developers Crytek would go through the trouble to make these ports, as it would widen the market for these games immensely, as not only are the Crysis games a cool graphical showcase, they're also pretty fun to play. So it makes sense to want to sell that gameplay experience to more gamers than just those on PC, especially since both the PS3 and Xbox 360 sold really well. Even if the graphical experience wouldn't be there on those platforms, the gameplay would still be. So considering the Wii U didn't have a large install base and wasn't a whole lot more powerful than the PS3 and 360, what gave anyone the idea to release Crysis on the Wii U? Well, it all began with an interview given to CVG by Crytek producer Mike Reed, who said, when he was asked about a Wii U port, that he wouldn't say that there was no chance, and who knows what the future might hold. And that he could definitely say that they were working with Nintendo, but he refused to comment on any Crysis 3 port for the Wii U. Safe to say that that mention of working with Nintendo set off a lot of people's radars, more so even when it was revealed that the updated CryEngine, the engine which Crysis 3 runs on, would have a slider setting for the Wii U, and Crytek even brought a Wii U demo of their engine to GVC in collaboration with Sega to show off their sonic boom in the Crytek engine. So a lot of people were now speculating that Crysis 3 on Wii U seemed like a safe bet, especially since it already came to the PS3 and 360, which were on a similar terms of power as the Wii U. But Crysis release came and went, and Crysis 3 on Wii U just never happened. And apparently that's not because Crytek didn't want it to happen. According to Crytek boss Cevat Jaril, they had the game running fine on Wii U and they wanted to go through with a port for the system, but they were not able to secure a publisher for the port, as both EA and Nintendo weren't willing to publish it, and Crytek themselves did not have the publishing license to do it. It seems that at this time, only 4 months into the Wii U's life, EA had already decided that they wanted nothing more to do with the little piece of garbage and pulled all their development and publishing efforts away from the machine, not even willing to publish a game like Crysis 3, which was practically already finished and running on the Wii U as we spoke. And I kinda get where they're coming from, as they had put several series on the console at launch: FIFA, Need for Speed, Mass Effect, and from what we all heard, these all failed horribly, so I kinda get not wanting to put more money into a platform which clearly doesn't house your demographics. Now, for Nintendo, I have no idea why they weren't willing to publish the game. Perhaps they believed in early 2013 that the Wii U would be successful later on and that there would be enough third-party support of mature games in the future, and that they could just focus on themselves and their own publishing efforts. Or perhaps the demo that Crytek showed of Crysis 3 running on the Wii U just ran very poorly and Nintendo didn't want to have their name on a box of a, well, product that ran at like 20 FPS. We have no idea, as the demo never made the public. In any case, unfortunately, Crysis 3 on Wii U never happened, which I'm quite sad about, as Crysis 3 could have been a very interesting little novelty to have on the Wii U. And I'm especially curious to see what they would have done with the gamepad, as one of Crytek's designers admitted in an early days Wii U interview that he was intrigued by the concept. But oh well, it just never happened on the Wii U. At least it's now on Switch as part of the Crysis Trilogy Remastered, which on the Switch case seems to be just the Xbox 360 versions with some different textures and different lighting, but it's all here, if you want to play it on a Nintendo platform. And that's the story of Crysis 3 on the Wii U, and why it never happened. If you enjoyed the story, be sure to return for the next Nintendo history video, probably somewhere in a few months, and then I will see you all later, because I've got shiny Geodudes to find. Bye bye.